Hi Flosstube, I'm Tamara, the PD Stitcher. This is my channel about cross stitch and life, and mostly cross stitch. This is Saturday, January the 18th. This is probably take number 7 of me trying to do this, because every time I've started, I've stopped about a minute or so in because something has happened. Either I've tripped over my words, or the heat came on, and when the heat is on, the room that I'm in, it sounds like there's an airplane going through, so that's not good, or just other stuff. So hopefully this one I'll actually get to finish and maybe upload so I can share with all of you. The last time that I was with you all, it was New Year's Eve, so I hope you have all had a really good start to your new year. I've had several new things, new finishes, new starts, new progress on whips, new activities. We've spent last weekend at an indoor track meet in North Carolina, and a couple weekends ago we went up to a town about 3 hours away for my girls to train with a track coach there. And my twins started back to theater this past week, and they have auditions this coming week for Shrek Jr., so that's really exciting. And then my son started in the nursing program this past week, and so he's been very overwhelmed with lots and lots of work, because the nursing program is no joke. It's pretty intense, and there's a lot of work, and it's been a new change for all of us in the last few weeks. So, you know, a lot of new things, but we're really excited about 2020, and I hope you all are as well. So, like I said, I had a new finish. I have been doing Whip Go with Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Things. And my Whip Go board, the first one, the two numbers that she called were 6 and 12 for January. And this was my number 12. This is the Enchantress. And I'm sorry, if I do it back here, you can kind of see her, and the light's not washing her out as much. But I want you to be able to see the sparkle. All of this purple is metallic floss, and it's just really, really pretty up close. But the lighting is really bad because the sun can't decide if it wants to come out or stay behind a cloud. We have had rain and rain and more rain for the last few weeks. We've had 2 tornadoes hit high schools in my state this past week. One hit on a weekend night, thankfully, because it really tore that school up, but there weren't any kids there, obviously. And then the other one hit during school hours, but it didn't hit the school. It just hit the parking lot next to the school, damaged a bunch of cars, but the kids were all okay. But it's just been a couple of really crazy weather weeks, so the sun still hasn't really decided if it wants to come out and play or stay away. But this is the Enchantress, and she is from Creatively Crafting. She did a Magical Sal this past year, and did charted several of the princesses and some of the other characters. And I love it because it's more of an outline instead of the whole thing, and it's all metallic floss, and well, not all, because her hair was not metallic, thankfully. But the metallic floss, and I've been saying that metallic floss and black fabric are of the devil. I've actually enjoyed working on that this past week because I figured out the answer. The answer was really good light, and definitely having something light underneath. And I can't see to stitch with my glasses on, but if I pull them off, I can see, and if the lighting is good, I can just stitch away on the black fabric with the metallic threads now, so yay. But that was on 30 count onyx linen, and I started her on May 6th and finished her on the 15th of January. And then I hear somebody behind me on the stairs, so I'm sure at some point you'll probably see somebody pass by that doorway. So if you're going, go. And then I started Snow Pals from Glendon Place on January 1st. This was my New Year, New Start. Trying to get more winter stuff for my house, just to decorate. And so this is as far as I've gotten. I have the little snowman belly. Let me see if this will help. If I put this behind it. Yeah, the little snowman belly with his green scarf, but he has no legs. He has no head. But I'm loving, loving, loving this fabric. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got all this little glittery sparkle. Can you see that? Oh, there we go. You can see it now. All that glittery sparkle, and it just pops. This is on 32 count Crystal Herald Belfast, and love, love, love it. It's beautiful, and I'm not making any conversions with that. That's all the called for threads, and I'm loving it. But I've had so many other projects calling to me that I haven't sat down just to work on that, but it's been fun working on that. I love snowmen, so that's been fun. And then the next thing I've been working on is Angel of Freedom from Lavender and Lace. And this is what she's supposed to look like when she's done. And this is what she currently looks like. Let me see. I'm going to eventually remember to just put the paper behind it to start with, and then I don't have to pick the paper back up. But she's getting there. She has a head and a hand now and wings, and I'm going to work on the bottom of her dress, and then she's supposed to be holding a wreath over here. So that's the new part that I'm going to be working on next. But absolutely love her. When I was in college, I was in a sorority, Pi Beta Phi, and our mascot, emblem, symbol, I don't really know what to call it, is it the angel? So I've collected angels. I used to collect angels. I stopped when I had a handful of children, and there wasn't really room in my house for me to collect stuff because their stuff takes up a lot of room. But I'm going to go back to do more angel stuff, and so that's going to be one of my first angel pieces. I'm sure I'll work on many, many more. And that one was on 32 count Sweet Pea Belfast. I'm getting better at remembering to tell you the fabric. Getting better. One day I'm going to do this and I'm not going to forget anything. And then the next thing that I've been working on is another one from the Creatively Crafting Magical Sal, and this is the Beauty. Whoo, that just completely washed out the room when I held that close. But this one, there's not a lot of metallic threads in this one. This one is mostly DMC. All the yellow is DMC. Her hair is DMC. But the flower, and then down here, there's going to be a little red, I don't know what to call them, poof balls at the moment is what they are, along the bottom of her dress that are metallic. And so, but she's moving along really well and looking really good. And this was my number 6 that was called In Whip Go. And both of my goals for those were to finish them this year, finish the Enchantress, so yay. And this one she has some dress over here, and then the little red, there's like a little sash with the red along here, and then she'll be done. So I think I might finish her before the end of January too. So yay. And I've been very excited because I decided this year I was going to do Stitch from Stash. It's the Stitch from Stash 2017 to 20 Facebook group, which is the official one. And I put in a $25 budget for each month, and so far with my finish with the Enchantress, I still have $17 left, and I've not obviously just stitched from Stash because I started with 25. I've had to finish to get some credit back, and I'm at 17. But this is one of the things that I bought with my Stitch from Stash credits, is the Winter Wonderland pattern from the Frosted Pumpkin. And this is my printout because I get the PDF. It's so much easier. So Kayla from the Hufflepuff Stitcher. Yes, the Hufflepuff Stitcher. Excuse me. started a seasonal saying sal using the seasonal sayings patterns from the Frosted Pumpkin. And she was working on Winter Wonderland, and I loved it. And so I decided I would join her. However, it took me a while to get my fabric. And so by the time I got my fabric and could start, she had finished hers. So we're not really stitching along. I'm stitching behind her, but that's okay. So I've decided I'm doing almost a full color conversion on this. Not quite, but I've switched out. So in this, you can see it's red for the Winter Wonderland and the sweater, and then pink for the border and the scarf. And for mine, I've chosen teal for the border, and the scarf will be teal, and purple. And I'll use the purple for the lettering and the sweater, because those colors just match my winter aesthetic. The little bit of winter stuff that I do have and that I want to get, it's more the teals and the purples and the blues. So I just changed that out. The red, just to me, this looked like Christmas, and I want my winter to last in my house. I don't want winter to last forever, but in my decor, I want to be able to stay decorated for winter all the way until I start decorating for Valentine's Day. So for January, I like the blues and the purples and stuff. So I have the border, I have a W. That is it. But I've only been working on this for 2 days, so I feel like I've gotten a pretty good start with 2 days worth of stitching. This is on, hold on, let me look. 20, I'm so used to stitching on 32 that I said this was 32. This is 28 count Crystal Alchemy from Picture This Plus. And I love it. And this just, I love the modeling in here. It's absolutely beautiful. And so I'm looking forward to finishing this so that I can fully finish it and put it up. And I say that. You've probably noticed you've never seen anything that I fully finished, because you know what? I've not. So I finish things. They just sit there. I don't know what I'm going to do with these things. Eventually I will fully finish them and they will get displayed. Until then, my walls are blank and bare and beige. Or I guess it's a cream color, but they're blank. So I'm wanting to do something. So please, if you are watching this and want to comment, say tomorrow. Finish those things and put them on your walls. So, and then the other thing, my other whip that I've worked on is my Harry Potter with Owl. And he looks like he's had some surgery. He's got a whole blank spot on his hair, and he's missing most of his face, but it's going to get there. And then one of the magical stitches prompts was to stitch 200 stitches in DMC 310. Well, I thought, okay, I can work on Harry Potter, because I know I have the dark parts of his hair left. Yeah, that's not 310. That's 3371. So I couldn't do that. But all of the back stitching in Hedwig is in 310. So I haven't finished. I still have a lot of back stitching to go down and through here. But I am loving. And when I was first doing the back stitching, because this is all... It's all right here. There's a ton of back and forth and little tiny backstitch things. And I was like, that's a lot. Does it really need it? Is it going to look too harsh? And at first, when I just had the eye and Harry's glasses and some of the head, it looked really stark. Like white and then the black lines. And I was like, maybe I should just leave it out and it'll be fine. But I really wanted to finish that prompt. So I kept going. And it just looks so good. It gives it so much detail. And y'all, I don't iron often. I will iron this when it's done to get the creases out. but I'm not going to iron it before Flosstube because it's just going to get all wrinkly when I fold it back up and put it in the bag to wait for me to work on it again. So I'm not ironing. I'm sorry. There's just going to be a big crease down Hedwig's head. But it just, all of this just makes the owl just pop, and I'm loving it. As much as back stitching is a pain and it's difficult because it's tedious. And if you're doing a challenge group like Magical Stitches, it only counts for half a stitch for every stitch. So I had to do 400 backstitch stitches to get credit for 200, but that's okay because I did them and it looks really good and I'm glad I did it. So, and this is on, hold on, I have my list over here. 14 count Aida, you know, really original. This was, I used to be an Aida stitcher, and then I stopped stitching for several years. And when I came back to stitching, I still had several pieces of Aida. So this was one that I had, and you can see, you know, old school. I don't serge. I don't sew on a sewing machine. I don't own a sewing machine. I don't own a serger. I don't own any of that stuff. So old school. This was already taped off so that the edges would not fray. And I pulled it out of my stash and started this Harry Potter for my daughter, who is a huge Harry Potter fan. And I keep showing you the back, and the back actually, for me, that doesn't look too bad. It's not really that messy. So I won't mind showing you that back. Now, some of the others, you're not going to ever get to see the back. I'm going to keep those hidden forever and ever because they look atrocious. But, so I started this on Aida, and I started it in 2018. Wow. That seems so long ago. It really wasn't. It was like September 2018 was only a year and a couple of months, but it seems like a really long time that I've been working on this project. So I started this in September 2018 when I first got back into stitching again after a very long pause where all I worked on was one stocking at a time. And that got maybe, 100, 150 stitches in a month, and took me several years to finish stockings. So, but now I'm back into it because I have more time, and I started wanting to use some fun fabrics, and there's some really pretty Aida out there. But I really, really, really have started loving stitching on linen, and there's a lot of pretty linen out there. So I've gotten more into linen, and I'm not really loving the Aida, which might be why it's taken me a while to finish this, because it just feels crispy, I guess would be the word. It just feels so stiff, and I love the softer feel fabric. So, but I know there are a lot of people out there who are like I used to be, and they stitch on Aida and they love it, and it fits for them and it works for them, and go for it. If it makes you happy, stitch on what you like, because it's your piece and you're the one putting in the work and you're the one putting in the effort. So stitch on what you like. I'm going to finish this on the Aida, and I'm not saying I'm never going to use Aida again. I probably won't, but I can't say never. I've learned to never say never as my eyesight gets really crazy, wonky. If it starts getting worse where I literally cannot see the holes in the fabric if I have my glasses on. I have to take them off to be able to see the holes in the fabric if I'm using 32 or bigger or higher count. But if I take my glasses off, I can't see the television and I can't see anybody sitting across the room, but I can see my fabric. So if you have that situation, and yes, these are progressive lenses. So it's not even that I need progressive lenses. I have progressive lenses. I wear progressive lenses. I don't know if I just need a different prescription. Maybe it's time to get a new one. But if you have the same issue where you can see, you wear glasses to see far away, but you can't use them to stitch, will you tell me how you solved that? If you had that problem and you figured out how to do it besides what I'm doing now, which is take my glasses off and stitch, which means I can't stitch and watch television at the same time because I can't see the television. I can see Flosstube videos if I'm watching them on my Kindle, and I have it like right here. I can see, I stitch, I have the pattern here, my Kindle here, and I can see that far. But if I get to here, I can't see. And if I'm sitting on the couch and the television's across the room, yeah, I can't see at all. So like Monday night, I really wanted to stitch and watch my Tigers. Oh, the Clemson Tigers. It would be my Tigers. The LSU Tigers. They played amazing. I'm really happy for them. They deserved the win. We did not play that good. And we did not deserve a win this year. But I wanted to watch my Tigers play in the national championship game. And I wanted to stitch. Yeah, I couldn't do both. And so I watched the game until it was 17-7 and we were looking really good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go in the other room and stitch because then I can see my work. And yeah, I don't know if maybe I should have stayed in the room. Maybe we would have continued to play well. But after that, it just was not good. So, but that's okay. We have next year and we'll come back. So if you're not a Clemson Tiger fan, if you're an LSU fan, congrats. If you don't care about football, I'm sorry. But football is life in my house for several of my children. Not all. Some of my children don't like football at all. But a couple of my are very much into Clemson football. So the game was on. People were watching. Sometimes it was loud. Sometimes it was not. So, I want to do a couple shout outs. Brenda at Handwork Maniac. Oh my goodness. I love watching her Flosstubes because I love seeing her projects. She has so many projects with all kinds of specialty stitches, which I am terrified of specialty stitches. I've been stitching for a very long time, since the 80s. And so, wow, that seems like I'm really old. I guess I am. But I've been stitching since the 80s and I'm terrified of specialty stitches. So I love watching hers because they're just beautiful, but I don't think I'll be using them anytime soon. And Annie at Joyfield Stitcher, I love watching her. She's just so upbeat and she has such amazing projects that she's working on and she's always just so happy. And even the last video of hers that I watched, they had to stop in the middle to go sit in the closet during a storm because they were having tornado warnings, watches. I know there's a difference. I'm not really sure what's the difference, but we're having tornado somethings, and they went and sat in the closet, and then she came back and she continued filming her video and just never missed a beat. And that just she's so fun to watch, and I enjoy watching her. So I wanted to shout those out. And then Kayla, the Hufflepuff Stitcher, who I'm joining on this seasonal saying Sal, well, following behind her because, like I said, she'd already finished when I started, but that's okay. I want to shout them out. And then because like I said, I have spent some of my credit money for my budgeted money for this month. I got the Winter Wonderland pattern and the fabric for that. And then I also got this, and this is it's just regular. There's no, well, I mean, it's still pretty, but it's no modeled this is 32 count Platinum Lugana. And I got a huge piece because I'm planning on doing several smalls on it. So this way I can use it for multiple projects. And then 32 count chalkboard linen. And I got a huge piece of this. So this also will be used for several smalls as I'm starting to plan my Mania starts. And if you have already started planning your Mania starts, let me know. What are you working on? Are you planning big projects? Are you planning little projects? I think I'm going to do, I don't know, thinking I'm going to do several small projects. I've decided that I'm going to try and do 20 new projects in May, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm either going to do 20 new projects or I'm going to try a new thing every day unless there's a project still in my whips that was started on a day during last year's Mania, and then I'm going to do that. So like the Enchantress, I started that May 6th last year, but I finished her, so I can do a new start on May 6th this year. But if there's a project like I started on May 8th that I still have in my whip pile, I'll work on that May 8th instead of starting something new. So I think that's my plan. I think I'm going to do some smalls. I'm not going to just do Christmas ornaments. I thought about that, but I might wait and see if Fat Quarter Shop is doing Jolly July this summer again, and then I might do ornaments then and just do small pieces, like more of the seasonal sayings from the Frosted Pumpkin. And I'm really wanting to start, there's some other little small stuff that I want to start this year to do. So we'll see. If you've already got your plan started for Mania, let me know. Give me some ideas. What are you doing? How are you planning it? I love watching people's planning videos. I love to paper plan. I don't always follow my paper plans, but I love to do the paper planning. So it's good to write stuff down for me, but then I just kind of go my own way. So it doesn't really matter. And I hear my people. You may hear my people in the background. They're getting kind of loud. It's been, nobody's out doing anything today. The weather's been really crazy. I said it's been like really yucky, but it was warm. In fact, it was like 80 degrees on Wednesday this week. And today it's only 40 something. So the weather's gotten really yucky, which I know for most of the world, or at least most of the US, 40s sounds wonderful in January. Yeah, no, it's chilly. It's chilly here. It was 80 on Wednesday, so but I hope you all have a great week. I hope you all get lots of good stitching in, and I'm going to try and do floss tubes more often, and I'm still trying to figure out a specific day. Excuse me again. A specific day to do them. I'm sorry, but I don't know. My life gets crazy, and some days are better than others, but it's not the same day every week. That's really good. So I don't know. I'll try and get a more of a routine. But until then, I hope you all have great stitching, and I will see you later. Bye.